attendees. All right. All right, thank you everyone for joining in. We have 13 people, so let's just hope that people will keep joining as we continue. 14 people now. All right, my name is Tochukwu, and I'm the CEO of Spreadit Limited, and I am co-hosting this webinar with Fresh Start UK with CEO Ray. Ray will be doing the presentation. This webinar will show us the opportunities that exist in the United Kingdom, both for those who wish to migrate to become permanent residents in the UK and those who are looking to invest in the UK. Please, can you confirm that you can hear me? You can use the chat button to tell me whether you can hear me or not. Can I get yes from one or two persons that you can hear me? All right, yeah. The attendees, Amara, Chibuke, Chinedu, Edwin. Can any of you hear me? All right, Edwin, all right, you can hear. All right, thank you. You can put down your hand. All right, thank you very much. Thank you. All right, so like I said before, we'll be showing us the opportunities that exist for anyone to migrate legally to the UK and work toward becoming a permanent resident. Today, we understand that a lot of people are living to the UK, usually through the study route. And we have known people who are facing terrible challenges because that route doesn't really give you any guarantees. You go through school, spend tens of thousands of pounds, and then you're not guaranteed of any job by the time you are done. And if you don't get it, but some kinds of job that can keep you in the UK after your graduation, you will be required to leave the UK. Now, the pathways that you will be hearing about today, once we admit you into our program and begin to work with you, gives you 100% chance of becoming a permanent resident in the UK. And so Ray will take over from me now. I will come back later to talk more about other things, but Ray will take over from me now to begin the presentation on these pathways to becoming a permanent resident in the UK. Ray, please.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for that introduction, and good evening, everybody that's listening in. I'm sure we'll get others join us as this goes on. I just want to kind of give you a little story, a bit of background about what this is about. And the way I see this is that there are many individuals around the world, not just from Nigeria, but from many other countries that we operate in, are all looking to improve their lives and their futures. And these people are willing to work very hard and take risks, but legal risks, to ensure the family have new opportunities. Our discussions with many people around the world tell us that parents want to give their children a chance to improve their future, and to ensure they grow up in a safe and secure environment. So we at Fresh Start and the Fresh Group, we work very hard to ensure we give families an opportunity to achieve their goals and their ambitions into the UK. So my presentation here now will be to show you how that can be done and the routes that you can take and the opportunities that are available. This webinar really is an overview. It's to kind of whet your appetite. But from this, then there'll be many conversations via Daniel to ourselves, my staff, and so on and so forth. But let me kind of take you through the process. So first of all, a little bit about us, the Fresh Group. The Fresh Group is made with 3 companies, and one of them, Fresh Start UK, which is based in our Dubai office, is the company that's actually presenting this webinar to you today. So we as a group, we are experts in the UK investment and immigration market and have been for over 13 years. We only work in the UK. We don't offer other countries such as Canada, Caribbean, wherever. We don't do that. And this is why we say we are experts. We've been doing this a long time. We understand it. Our clients currently come from over 15 countries worldwide. So what that means is that we have great experience in dealing with all sorts of cultures and requirements and needs. And it'll be very rare we come across people that we haven't already dealt with in terms of their requirements and scenarios. An important point, I think, is that we have multicultural staff in our 2 branches, and there are a range of nationalities and they speak a range of languages, which includes, as you see there, Chinese, Egyptian, British, Filipino, Lebanese. So we're trying to kind of ensure that we can give people confidence that we understand them, we understand their needs and how we're going to take them forward. The 2 pictures you see there are our 2 offices. One on the left is our UK office where we operate from, and that's situated close to Liverpool. And the one on the right is our Dubai office. We are based on the 19th floor of that building and have been there for getting on for 2 years. And it is our office that covers the Middle East, Africa, and those sort of areas. Here's a quick snapshot of our team. Obviously, that's me on the left-hand side. My partner, Imelda, is there. She's also a director of the business. Fiona. Now, that's a lady you need to kind of keep your eye on, because Fiona is the lady that will deal with any applications. She will take your application from start to finish to get it to the Home Office for visa application and so on. So she's the lady that's probably the most important person in our team as far as you're concerned. The rest of the people there, some very good people, are business development people from both the UK and our Dubai office. It's important to point out to you something that I believe will give you confidence when you deal with us. We are members of something called the IMC, which you've probably not come across, but that stands for Investment Migration Council. And that is a global association that polices companies like us. So, you know, we have to ensure we meet the standards set by them. And we do. We have high ethical standards ourselves. So you can see there we talk about competence. Well, we've been doing this for 13 years, so we're very good at this. And we understand the market. As I said a minute ago, we only deal with the UK market. So we are the experts at this. Honesty and confidentiality. Well, in terms of honesty, if you come to us and say you would like to come to the UK and we look at your application, we will give you an honest answer to whether you will qualify or not. And we give you that very early on. So you will not waste money, you will not waste time, but we will give you an honest answer as to whether we can help you or we can't. And unfortunately, in this life, there are some people we can't help. Everything you deal with us is confidential. It's strictly between us and you. We do not take this information outside of our organization, and we're very transparent in what we do. So we'll show you how far we've got. We'll show you the applications. We'll show you the details. And we are obviously compliant with the UK government and the Home Office ruling for UK visas. So we conform to the IMC ethical standards as a business. So there's a question for you. Why choose the UK? Well, over the years we've been doing this and all the successful cases we've had, we've always asked these people, what was the reason or reasons why you chose the UK? And we've compiled this kind of top 10 and this is from them, not from us. And I don't propose to read through them all. You can read that as well as I can, but just to pick a couple out. And the first thing was family security. So these people come from different countries, different cultures, etc. And one of the biggest draws for the UK was that they felt their family would be secure and safe living in the UK. Another one was access to healthcare. You know, we do have a world-renowned healthcare. Our NHS is one of the best in the world. Great business opportunities for anybody looking to open a business in the UK. Also, free education for your children. Now, anybody that comes to the UK and has children, and provided those children are under 18 years of age, then they will get free education. We have a diverse culture in the UK, so there are many people from many cultures and many countries, and that's what makes us good. That's what makes us a special place to come. And you can see in number 10 that there was a report out that said 178,000 Nigerian nationals are now residing in the United Kingdom. That report was done in 2021, as you can see. So we're now in 2023. So I would hazard a guess that's probably edging towards 200,000 people in the UK rather than 178. So some very good reasons why people chose the UK. So what I'd like to do at this stage is kind of run through 4 or 5 of the options that we have. And I am pretty sure this is going to generate a large number of questions. And obviously, Daniel would be your first port of call to deal with these. But let's talk about the options for you. So the first thing I've selected, or first one I've selected, is the skilled worker visa with investment. So the skilled worker visa is a visa to offer employment to foreign workers, but we only deal with the skilled worker visa with investment. So what that means, this is targeting people who are probably at management level or director level or possibly run their own businesses, but have a disposable income, if you like, that they're able to invest into the company. So in short, we would find a person, a company to be employed at a senior level. That person can then decide to invest into that business, and they will invest through buying shares and equity in that company, and they would actually develop their future through that resource. So this is an exclusive offer. You will not get this skilled worker visa with investment from anybody else. So we have compiled this, we put it together, and it is something exclusive to us. And as it says, it's a great opportunity for business people, senior managers, people who want more than just a job. They want to come into a high-level employment. They want to have a say in how that company is run. They want to have a say in its direction. They want to have a say in how it can grow, whilst at the same time investing some money. And during that period, that 5-year period of employment, then their investment could easily grow. So if the company is making profits, for example, then generally a company will issue dividends, and as a shareholder, the investor will get dividends. So every year there is a possibility for them to make money out of this. As you can see from the slide, the minimum investment is £150,000. So for that 150,000, you get a high-ranking job. You get a visa for 5 years for yourself and your family to come and live in the UK. You make the investment. You will actually have a say in the business. You have a say how it's run. You can also make money from its performance. And that, for me, is the real reason why people should do this. Yes, they get a job, but yes, they have a say in how to develop a business and their future. So it's a 5 years, as I've said, and it leads to permanent residency for the applicant and their family. So if it's a man, it's for his wife and children, etc. As a company, Fresh Start UK will offer an end-to-end service to any application. What I mean by that is that the day you make the application to us, the day we say, yes, you meet the requirements and we will take you forward, we will actually support you through that process, get your visa for you, get you into a company, help you make the investment, and then work with you for the 5 years supporting you until you get your permanent residency or at the end of that 5-year period. So basically, we're going to hold your hand and we're going to look after you for a whole period of time. So that was the skilled worker for investment. So it's employment with investment, and it's a permanent residency after 5 years. The other way we use the skilled worker visa is called the skilled worker business visa. Now, this really is for entrepreneurs who wish to start their own business in the UK. So how does it work? What is it? Well, if you are a business owner, if you are a senior manager, or even if you just have the way about you that you want to come to the UK and rather have a job, but you have a very good business idea, this is the visa for you. So it's ideal for individuals who have that business mind. Equally, it's ideal for those business people who wish to set up a business but do not have a business that meets the UK Innovator visa. That's a very difficult visa requirement to meet. So what we look at is say, okay, most businesses can qualify, although we do not deal with things like restaurants, we do not deal with things like shops, we do not deal with things like hotels. So if you like, it's a pure business to business type environment. As well as setting your business up and creating your own employment, the skilled worker business visa can also help you employ other foreign skilled workers. So as an example, you might be in IT, for example. So you might decide, okay, I want to set my own business up, and in the future, I want to bring people from my own country who are highly technical, highly qualified, and I trust them. So you can actually bring those people and their families, if required, into the UK under the skilled worker visa, and they can also be employed by your business going forward. So we can help you do your employment, we can help you do their employment in the future. And as I've already said, this can also be used as a platform for permanent residency for both the applicant and their family, and equally the skilled workers that you may bring in the future for their families as well. So who would qualify and how would you qualify? Well, this is aimed at business people, as I've already told you. So they either want to establish a brand new business because they think they've got a great idea that will work in the UK. Fine, we'll help you establish that. It could well be you have a business in your own country right now and you want to pick that up and take that into the UK. Fine, we'll help you do that. Or it could be you want to adapt your current business and take that into the UK and start it as an extension of what you already have. Fine, we'll help you do that too. So all of those type of environments are applicable. Now, the good thing about this particular visa is that you see that there is no minimum investment required. So, you know, we don't say you need 50,000, 100,000, anything like that. However, this is where realism kicks in, because we all know, if you're business people, that if you want to start a new business, you have some money to invest to get the business going. So there isn't a minimum investment. However, based on our knowledge of the UK market and setting up business in the UK, I would very strongly recommend you probably have something in the region of £25,000 also available to you to help you get your business started and get it going. But as I said, there's no rules. That's your choice. But my recommendation would be around about 25,000 or more if you have it. One of the rules to this skilled worker for business visa is that you have to set up a UK company. We will do this for you, so don't worry about that. We will take you through the process to do that. However, the UK rules say that to set up a company under this visa, you have to have a UK resident who, first of all, will sign up as the original director once the company is formed, and they could become also the authorizing officer for the business. Let me get rid of that authorizing officer bit first. All that person is that they authorize and they sign any documents that the Home Office should send through to the business during the life of the skilled visa, i.e. up to 5 years. So that's all that is. It's somebody responsible for signing those documents and making sure they go back to the Home Office. So it's a processing thing more than anything else. But the more important thing is they have to be a director of the UK company. So the process is this: we set the company up. This UK resident becomes the director. So they are then responsible for signing all the legal documents. They are responsible for opening the bank account on behalf of the company. And they will also deal via us, we will do it, but they will sign it, all the documentation that's required for taxation and all the other areas, the official areas for setting up the company. So that person has to be in place. There is no choice about that. However, there's two options here. Either you could use somebody that you know. So this could be a family member, it could be a business colleague, it could be somebody you trust. Providing they have full UK residency, they will qualify. If you find yourself in a position that you don't know that kind of person, then we have a number of highly regarded individuals who would certainly be interested in becoming your initial director for the company. That's the process we will deal with for you. We take that forward. The requirement for the English language test for the skilled worker for business is level 4. And I have to tell you, that's the lowest the UK government will allow. So it's a fairly simple process to get through that. We've already said this is for business people. This is for business people who don't want to invest their money into somebody else's business and be employed by somebody else. This is somebody who wants to actually start their own business. So they start their own business in the UK. They own it, they manage it, and they maintain it for the 5-year period. They become the director of it. They have 100% shareholding of it. As I said, this is for somebody who doesn't want to invest in other companies. They want to do their own thing. So how does it work? So generally, step one, we help set up the company through all of our processes. We do all the taxation and everything else required, and we organise the UK resident director, and we make sure that person is legally set in the company, and all the documentations are signed on their behalf. They then go off and open the bank account. And I must add here, we are not allowed to open that bank account because, again, because of UK banking laws, this is why you need this director to do that on your behalf. Once all that's done, bank accounts in place, company set up and all that sort of stuff, we then have to apply on your behalf for a UK company sponsors license. Every company in the UK that employs foreign workers has to have a sponsors license. It's a fairly easy task. It takes about 6 to 8 weeks. You don't have to worry about it. We do the whole thing for you. So my company, we've just applied for a sponsors license, and it was actually issued about 2 weeks ago to us. So we've been through this process and we know how it works. Once the license is in place, we then say to you as the applicant, you can now come to the UK as the skilled worker. So effectively, the company we've set up on your behalf is now going to employ you. So you're effectively employing yourself, but you are employed as a director or a managing director, and you're employed as a shareholder of that company. So you take full control. The day you come into that business and everything's done properly for you, then you take control of that business. So you are the skilled worker, but you're also the company owner. So as I said, you're kind of employing yourself. At the end of 12 months or so, the UK director we set up for you to set the company up originally can actually resign and step out, should you wish them to. You may not, you may want to carry on working with them, which is fine, but they can actually step out after 12 months, which makes you, the applicant, entirely responsible for that company. So you are the owner, you're the 100% shareholder, you're the managing director, you have total control of that business. So it's an excellent way to come into the UK, set up your own business, have total control of it, whilst going through the skilled worker visa that will allow you and your family to come and live in the UK for 5 years, and also at the end of 5 years allow you to achieve permanent residency for everybody. So these are the things we'll do for you. We'll set up the company, we'll do all the taxation stuff, we'll do all the insurance applications and stuff like that. We also create a business plan because the Home Office demands this for the business to set it up. We create a sponsors license, as I've already said. We do what we call a certificate of sponsorship. That's just a documentation to employ the individual skilled worker. And then our lawyers will apply for the UK visa for the main applicant and their family. Once that's in place, we create things like websites and email addresses, etc. And as I said earlier, we'll also find a UK director and shareholder for you if you need us to. Once all that's done, you're in the UK, your family's with you, you're on the UK, the business is operating, you're employing yourself, you're paying yourself a wage, and all those sort of things. You simply let that run for 5 years, make it work, and there's no restrictions, there's no requirement. You haven't got to have a certain turnover or a certain profitability or certain amounts of money in the bank. There's no rules like that whatsoever. So it's your business, you decide. And then at the end of 5 years, we will apply on your behalf for your permanent residency for you and your family. Once that's been done, within 2 years, you can also apply for your citizenship and UK passport, should you wish to. You don't have to, but should you wish to. So that's how the UK skilled worker for business works. And I have to tell you at this stage, that is probably, not probably, it is the most popular visa that we've been bringing people to the UK over the last 6 months. So it's very, very popular. It's very easy. It's very cost effective, and it gives you and your family a great future in the UK. Okay, so that's the skilled worker side. I now want to kind of teach you another kind of visa in the UK, something called the Isle of Man Innovator visa. Now, some of you might be thinking, what is it, and where is the Isle of Man? Well, I will explain that to you in 1 second, but it is a form of visa for the UK using the Isle of Man, which is also part of the UK. So this is a route for talented entrepreneurs who want to establish a business in the UK. It's very similar to the Innovator visa you may have heard of in the UK. However, it comes with several benefits, and trust me, it is an awful lot easier to apply for than the UK version of this. Now, people are saying, yeah, but that's the Isle of Man. It's not the UK, so I'm not getting a British residency. I'm not getting a British passport. Well, let me show you something here. This is two passports, but they are actually the same passport. So on the left here, that is a British passport, which simply says the Isle of Man. So that's the Isle of Man passport. And this is the page that's inside of that passport, which gives all the information about the individual. The one thing I want to point out, and I hope you can see it, is see that there? It says British citizen. Now that's inside the Isle of Man passport, yet they are still a British citizen. And let me show you the actual UK passport, the current UK passport. See, same side of things, same colour and all the rest of it. The only difference is it says the United Kingdom. But again, let me take you to the inside page, which carries all the information. It says British citizen. So whether you're from the Isle of Man or whether you're in the UK or in any part of the UK, you are still a British citizen. Please don't forget that. This is all about the UK. We might talk about the Isle of Man, but the Isle of Man is part of the UK. Okay, so if you're thinking, well, I've never heard of it, where is it? Let me show you. Liverpool, I'm sure you've heard of. Manchester, I'm sure you've heard of. Go out to sea, that's Northern Ireland, by the way. The Isle of Man is about 40 minutes from Liverpool by plane. It's almost like a bus ride. Oh, by the way, our office is roughly there, just so you know. So it is part of the UK. It's what we call the common travel area. So you can travel around the UK. You can live in the Isle of Man. You can live in the UK. There is no restrictions either of those. But let me just show you this. Travel times from the Isle of Man. Liverpool, 40 minutes by plane. London, 70 minutes by plane. London 70 minutes by plane, Birmingham 55. Now, you won't know this, but let me give you a comparison. Just down here is a town called Brighton, and a lot of people that live in Brighton commute every morning and every evening backwards and forwards on the train. I can tell you their journey is a minimum of 90 minutes on a train, there and back. Yet we're talking 70 minutes from the Isle of Man. So that just gives you a comparison of commuting times. So what are the benefits of the Isle of Man Innovator visa over the UK version? Well, there are several significant advantages. First of all, as I've already shown you, it's got excellent access to UK. One of the biggest points here is that the Isle of Man government is the endorsing body. So in the UK visa, we have over 40 odd endorsing companies, and they have to endorse the application before it goes to the Home Office for the visa application. In the Isle of Man, the same people actually endorse it, who then sign it off for a visa. Now, I've been to the Isle of Man government offices, and I joke with you not, their offices to do all these tasks like the endorsing, the acceptance of the application, and then the visa application, they're on the same corridor, and each office is next to each other. You couldn't make that up, trust me. So it's all local, it's all dealt with by local people, and it's a very, very fast system. The biggest plus here for the Isle of Man Innovator against the UK Innovator is that the UK Innovator will only allow you to invest into new startup businesses, which is a big risk. The Isle of Man visa will allow you to invest into existing businesses. So they could have been around 1, 2, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, doesn't matter. Provided they meet the innovator criteria, you can invest in that. So obviously for an investor, that then reduces the risk greatly as against the startup. The other thing about this is you don't have to work. You can just be what we call a passive investor. So you can make your investment into the company. You don't have to have a job as such, but you become a passive investor for 3 years and then apply for your permanent residency. When you get your permanent residency and then you apply for citizenship, as I said before, a further 2 years, then when you apply for that citizenship, You will not get an Isle of Man citizenship. You will get a UK citizenship. Take you back to that slide where I showed you the two passports. When you get citizenship, you get a passport. So you will get a UK passport. So don't think there's a restriction on this, because there isn't, not at all. Okay, there are many other benefits for the Isle of Man Innovator visa, not least the fact that if you have to spend on the UK Innovator visa and the Isle of Man Innovator visa 180 days in the UK. So for the Isle of Man, that can either be in the Isle of Man or be in the UK. So you can flip between the two to your heart's content, but you have to be in the UK for 180 days. You get indefinite leave to remain on the Isle of Man visa for the whole of UK. And as we've already said, you require full citizenship. Now, here's a big point. In the UK, you have to pay for your healthcare for you and your family for the duration of the visa. So if it's an innovator visa, it's 3 years. If it's a skilled worker visa, it's 5 years. The Isle of Man give you free healthcare from the moment you have yourself a visa for the Isle of Man. So if you were a family of 4 over 3 years, you would save £7,000 on healthcare fees as against the UK. So you're going to save you £7,000 before you start. Other parts of why the Isle of Man's a good idea: taxation, for example, personal and business. So in the Isle of Man, personal taxation starts at 10%. In the UK, it starts at 20%. In the Isle of Man, there is zero company tax, or what we call corporation tax. In the UK, on the 1st of April this year, our corporation tax goes up to 25%. That's quite a difference. So a company like mine, for example, who makes profits, at the end of every year, the UK government is going to tax me 25% on my company profits. In the Isle of Man, they're not going to tax me a penny piece. So that's a heck of a saving if you're running a business. Health and education, I've already explained to you about the health being free and saving you £7,000. In the Isle of Man, there's an excellent education system, be that state systems or private systems. They're very good either way. Again, to put your mind at risk, are your children going to be taught the same sort of things that they would be in the UK? Yes, is the answer, because they work off the same national curriculum, which simply means that's the course your children will do over a year. So they do exactly the same thing in the Isle of Man as they do in the UK. If they take exams in the UK, they'll be the same exams in the Isle of Man, 100% identical. And it also gives them access to all of the UK universities. So they qualify to go to university through their education in the Isle of Man. They have a choice to go to universities in the UK should they wish to. Okay, so let's cut to the nitty-gritty. So what is the business requirement? As I said to you, this is called the Innovator visa. And it's called an Innovator visa for a reason, because it's to attract businesses that are going to develop innovation into the Isle of Man stroke the UK. So what do we mean by innovation? Well, the best description I've ever heard of this is two ways. First of all, if it's a new idea, a new product, or a new service, and we do not have that in the UK, then it's innovation. If it's taking something we already have, a process, a service, or a product, and we improve it, that's innovation. So they're probably the best two descriptions I could give you of what is innovation. How does the UK government see innovation? The other thing that you have to establish is viability. So what do we mean by that? Well, it simply means that you as the business owner have to have either experience, background, skills, knowledge in the business marketplace that your business is in. So for example, if you were setting up an engineering business, you've got to have some sort of background and knowledge in engineering. You know, you couldn't come from a catering company, for example, into an engineering company. It wouldn't allow it. You have to show you have that background and skill set. And then the last one is that you have to establish is scalability. So what that means, you have to show that you can grow your business. You have plans in place that your business over the years will grow and improve and bring in profits, etc. And also create jobs as and when required. So the two options you have here, you can either start your own business, which is a £50,000 investment. You don't invest that anywhere else. You keep that yourself, but you have £50,000 to invest and grow your business, is what we're saying. Or, I said earlier, you could invest in established businesses. Well, to do that, you would have to invest round about £200,000 into an existing business. We do sometimes go down as low as 150, but certainly between 150 and 200 is the norm. So I've fired quite a lot of information at you quite quickly there, but couple of questions we get asked on a regular basis. I thought I'd share these with you. So the first one is, do I need to spend all my time in the Isle of Man? No, you don't. You have to spend 180 days in the UK. Some of those days could be spent on the Isle of Man, but your 180 days per year, 180 days per year, per 12 months, you have to spend within the UK, which is the Isle of Man, UK and Channel Islands. So England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, etc. So provided you can show you've spent 180 days per 12 months in what we call the common travel area, then you meet that criteria. It doesn't mean it's 180 days in one hit. You can come and go, so you can have 30 days in the UK, 30 days back in your own country, and do it that way. But providing there's a minimum of 180 days in the UK per year, then you qualify. Can I live in the UK? Yes, you can. So you'd have a small residency in the Isle of Man, and you could have your main home in anywhere you like in the UK, Manchester, Liverpool, London, Birmingham, whatever you want it. It doesn't matter. So yes, you can do that as well. Is it hard to obtain an endorsement? No, because as I said to you earlier, it's all done by the one body from start to finish. So they don't have to go out to third parties and, outside of the Isle of Man or anything of that nature. They do it themselves, and it's all done by people on the same corridor. So it's an easy process, and it's a quicker process, by the way, as well. So what are the business requirements? Very simple, really. In fact, it couldn't be simpler. They being the Isle of Man government, only require you, your business, to create 3 jobs over the 3 years. So 1 in the first year and a further 2 by the end of the 3rd year. Now, that in comparison to the UK requirements is that they say there are 7 criteria and you have to meet 2 of them. Some of those are turnover, employments, like employing 10 people and things like that. So it's a very, very much simpler, easier and easy to obtain requirement for PR. So that's the Isle of Man visa. So now what we've told you about, or I've told you about, is a visa where you can get a job and you invest into that company. A visa where you can start your own business and employ foreign workers moving forward. So you employ yourself effectively. I've just shown you a visa that has many advantages, including tax advantages, healthcare advantages, and so on. For you, if you're going to start up some sort of innovation business, or you wish to invest into an innovation business currently set up in the Isle of Man. This product I'm going to talk to you about is called the litigation funding. We have developed this with specialist lawyers in the UK and specialist fund managers in the UK. And this has been, we've had this on the market now for about 6 months, and we've got quite a number of investors from around the world putting their money into this fund. And the reason people put their money into this fund is because there are many countries in the world, and I believe Nigeria could be going through a similar situation subject to your elections, etc. But there are many other countries that we already know about who are suffering from the banking systems breaking down, from political systems breaking down, for the run on currencies, i.e. the currency levels have reduced dramatically, and so on. So people are running scared that whatever savings they have, they could lose it, and they want to put it into safe environments. This is an excellent opportunity for people in that position. So it's called litigation funding. So what is it? In the UK, we have a lot of cases where individuals have been missold to by the banks, the mortgage companies, the credit card companies. So quite a number of years ago, somebody decided to take these organizations to court and sue them to try and get some compensation. This took a few years to go through the process and ended up in the UK Supreme Court. The Supreme Court actually ruled in the claimant's favour. Now, for those that don't know, the UK Supreme Court is the highest court in our land. So once they make a ruling, it cannot be challenged. So it become law, if you like. And what that means is that people who can prove they've been missold to can actually take the banks and the credit card companies and all those sort of people to court and claim damages against them. So we work with a specialist law firm, and they take on a lot of these cases. And so far, they have had a 96% success rate. And that's an incredible record. But to add kind of confidence to these guys, they are also regulated by the UK Solicitors Regulatory Authority. They are the people who police our legal services in the UK. So these guys step out of line. It's the regulatory authority who deal with them, and they have such sweeping powers. They can either give them a slap on the wrist, or they can remove them from the members list. That means they can't operate as a solicitor anymore. And even in years gone by, I've seen cases where they've actually taking these guys to court, and they've ended up in prison because of the things that they've done. So that's how strong the UK Solicitor Regulatory Authority is. So these guys have to conform to their standards. So the way this works is our lawyers will take on these cases, and they only focus on claims that can give them a high conversion rate and short settlement timescales. When I say short, I mean 6 months, which is incredibly short. So how does it work for you as an investor? Okay. Basically, an investor puts their capital into their individual client account. And generally, that's something from 100,000 to 500,000, depending on what it is. So in layman's terms, that's your pot. That's your pot of money that belongs to you, and it's legally signed to you, and all that kind of stuff. So then we have thousands of these cases where the claimants want to take the banks to court, etc., but can't afford to do it because they don't have the available capital. So we use the litigation fund to pay for each one of these cases. And your pot of money will go to quite a high number of cases. So as an example, £200,000 will probably cover somewhere between 60 and 70 cases. Okay, so now the cash goes into those cases to allow the lawyers to take that through the court process and claim the money off the bank. Okay, so when they win that case, and bear in mind the previous slide that said they are successful with 96% of cases, because it's based on the Supreme Court ruling, when they win that case, the claimant will get back the capital originally for paying for the case, plus they will get back investment profit. So as an investor on that case, you get your capital back, and you get a percentage of the investment profit as well. Overall, you will receive a minimum, an absolute minimum of 15% per investment, per case rather. The contract for this is 12 months. Now, you remember I said we got 96% success rate. Well, that clearly means there was 4% failure rate. So how do we deal with them? So it's quite easy. We have something called after the event insurance, or AT insurance. Now, that insurance guarantees to the investor that if they invest into an individual case and that case is lost or doesn't proceed or whatever the reason being, but basically we don't win it, then this insurance policy will actually pay back the investor their original capital. So if they paid, say, £3,000 for a case to go forward out of their pot, and that case was lost, then this insurance would give the investor back their £3,000. Clearly, you won't get any profits from it because it's lost, but you will still get your capital back. And that's why we are allowed to say on this product that we have 100% capital protection. So whatever you put in on day one, you will get all of that capital plus investment profits back at the end of the 12 months. So if you put £100,000 back, I will guarantee you through this event, you will get £100,000 of your capital back plus investment profits. So how big is this? How good is this? Well, I can tell you now that our solicitors, our partners are dealing with something like 5,000 mis-selling claims per month. Now that's phenomenal, and it's growing. They tell us that they have enough potential claims in the UK to keep them going for roughly 10 years. So it's not going to run out anytime soon. And these cases are consumer credit cases, so they're quick turnover, the small values of money, but they're quick, and we're targeting organizations like the banks, the financial institutions, insurance company, credit cards, mortgage companies, those kind of people. So one of the questions we get asked is, how do you keep track of what your money is doing for you in this fund? Well, every quarter we will issue you directly with a financial performance report, and that's based around your investment. So it shows your investment, how many cases that went into. We'll even give you the case numbers at the court, so you know where this is. And then that gives you an up-to-date status on each case, and if it's paid out, how much you make from it, etc. And we will issue one of those reports every month, and that goes to every investor that's actually involved with this product. Why are we able to kind of give you the sort of returns that I've just talked about? Well, it's quite simple, really. Well, first of all, let me talk to you about how we can help you, and I'll come back to that. So what we will do, we will provide expertise and investment advice from the word go. So you talk to us, we would like to do this, we would like to invest X number of pounds. We will take you right through the process. You can even talk to the lawyers should you wish to. They're happy to talk to you, so you know there's nothing untoward or hidden from you. We also then work with the lawyers and yourself to get all the money laundering documentation together and all the sort of things you'd expect with something like this, including proof of ID, proof of funds, that kind of stuff. We do all that. We bring all that together. And then from that, the lawyers will create a draft contract. And we'll give that to you. You don't have to sign that, just for you to read and make sure you and your advisors are happy with that. Once you are, we'll create the final copy, and then everybody signs that. We then manage your investment and the successful returns, those reports I told you about, that sort of thing. And then we will also ensure at the end of 12 months, you have the choice of what you wish to do with your money. So you generally will probably have two choices. First of all, you could say to us, okay, I want to take my capital out and I want to take my investment profits out. The whole thing, I want to close it. Okay, fine, you can do that. There's no argument. But what a lot of people do now is they say, okay, well, I've done very well in terms of my investment profits, so I'll take that out and use that elsewhere. But I think I'm going to leave my capital in because it's protected, 100% protected, so it's not going anywhere. Let's run it for another 12 months and see what happens. And we have a lot of people that do that as well. But whatever route you decide to take, we will manage that for you. And of course, we provide ongoing support for any future investments. So what do you get from us? 100% capital protection, and that's just massive. You know, if you, especially as I said at the beginning, if you were coming from a country where you were worried about the safety and security of your money, then this is a great option for you. It's a 12-month investment product. We're going to give you a minimum of 15% year return. Now, this is the important bit. It has zero correlation to world markets or interest rates or currencies. So what I mean by that, there's been a lot of things going on in the world the last 12 months or so. So the stock market has kind of gone down quite a lot, an exceptional lot, and it's come back up and it's gone back down again. So that doesn't affect it. The interest rates in different countries, again, because of what's going on in the world, they've kind of gone up and so on. Currency fluctuations, well, look at Egypt, look at Pakistan. It may happen to you guys in Nigeria, I don't know. But, there's a lot of countries that are having this problem. nothing upon nothing will affect the terms that we give you for this project. And the reason for that is it's not linked to any of these things. It's not linked to currencies. It's not linked to the stock market. You are just investing in legal cases. So it doesn't matter what's going on in the outside world. This will not be affected by any of it. Okay. And finally, there it talks about we only invest in cases recommended by the Supreme Court precedent. Not to forget, it's also regulated by the UK Solicitors Regulatory Authority. So the lawyers dealing with this are actually policed by these guys, and they have to make sure they deliver. You get the AT insurance, so any losses on the cases, your capital is covered, so you've got 100% capital protection. And as I've already said, we only concentrate on fast-moving consumer litigation cases. So they're over in about 6 months or so. Now, here's the good news. I've talked to you about the Isle of Man Innovator Visa. I've talked to you about the litigation fund. They are two separate products. But what we've now done as an organization, we spent a little bit of time with our lawyers going through this and putting the plan together. So what we are now able to do, and this will be launched next week, by the way. So you are the first audience live to be told of this. What we're going to do is we're going to put the litigation fund and the Isle of Man Innovator Visa together. So what that will give you is that you will be able to invest in the Isle of Man Innovator Visa. You'll have that for 3 years. You will get permanent residency at the end of 3 years for you and your family. You will also invest into the litigation fund, which it gives you 100% capital protection, high returns, not affected by world trade markets, etc. Putting those two things together, that is an excellent opportunity for somebody who says, I want a safe haven for my investment and I would like a UK visa. So we've now put these two together and we've drawn up the legal contracts and all that kind of stuff. And that's ready to go, and it will be launched next week. So you're the first person to see this. So if you're looking for a safe haven for investment, but you would also like some sort of visa, there you go. We can do it for you. So again, speak to Daniel, speak to us, and we can give you the details of that. Okay, so I've gone through a lot in a short time, and I apologize if I've gone through it quickly, but it was just meant to give you a heads up on what's available. It has probably generated questions either now or in the future. You can see there's some contact details there on the bottom of the screen. So Kate and Catherine are based in our Dubai office, and they'll be happy to take your inquiries, etc. Obviously, Daniel's your first port of call, and his contact details are on the bottom line there. So if you wish to contact us at all, then please do so. Noah, do we have any questions?
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Ray.
we have.
You have questions?
Yeah, we have 2 questions, Ray.
All right.
Okay. One for the skilled worker business visa. The question is, do I have to pay salary to the director?
You don't have to pay salary. You have to pay a kind of management fee. And there isn't any set fee there. That's something that's negotiated between the two individuals. So it could be as low or as high as you need to do that. But there is no ruling to say you have to pay X amount to this person. That is down to the two parties. We will help you negotiate that if you wish us to. The good thing is if you have somebody that you know, maybe a family member or a business colleague or something, then that's probably going to be very, very low. But no, you don't have to pay it, but it's just negotiable.
Okay, thank you, Ray. The other question is for a skilled worker with investment. How much shares I'm going to get for the 150K investment?
That again is negotiated between the company you're investing in and yourself, depending on the value of the business. So if it's a startup business or a newish business, then the number of shares could be higher. But if the actual value of the company is quite high and you put 150,000 in, then you'll get less number of shares. So again, there's no rule from the Home Office or the government. That is something that you can negotiate. And yes, we will be on that negotiation, because obviously we're experienced at this. So we will look after you and we will advise you as the best way to do this. But there's no rule to say you have to have X amount of shares. It's a negotiation.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Ray. We have more questions. For the litigation fund, can I continue my investment after 12 months?
Yes, you can. As I said earlier, you do your 12 months, you've still got your 100% investment because you're guaranteed that. So if you wish to, you can continue with that investment into year 2 and just take the investment profits out. So whatever you made on that particular deal, you could take that money out and use it elsewhere, whilst keeping your original investment in the system and run for year 2. You could even run for year 3 if you wish to. Or if you really wanted to, you could leave the whole lot in there. So your original capital and your profits, you put that back in and say, right, let's run with that for year 2. So the answer to your question is yes, it's just how you do it to suit your personal requirements.
Okay, the last question. How can I start the process? What is the next step for whatever the program we're talking about? This is not a specific question for a program itself.
Okay, my advice is that first of all, whoever asked the question should speak with Daniel, and Daniel and ourselves have a system in place how to take this forward. So the first port of call I would suggest is with Daniel.
Yeah, okay. For that question, can I say something for that question?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, please. So if you've heard all this, I know that there's a lot to soak in, and you want to have a one-on-one with us, and perhaps for us to, now before we even take you on any of the program, we will have to assess whether you qualify. We need to check your documentation and all that. And so if you want to move forward on that, we have a special arrangement for that. I believe everybody here is in the Telegram group, so that it's easy for us to communicate right there in the Telegram group. So if you're interested, then we can talk further to schedule a meeting for you, one-on-one meeting, arrange for how you give us your documents for us to assess whether you qualify for any of the programs that we have listed here today. This session costs $100. The session of pre-assessing you and having a one-on-one meeting with us, asking any question you want to ask, getting clarifications and all that, costs $100 if you want to go forward beyond what you have heard today. Meanwhile, this webinar is recorded, and we will try to make it available for you to listen to it again and all that. If you also have someone who you think qualifies for any of the programs we've talked about today, whether it's the business visa, the skilled worker with investment, or the Isle of Man, the litigation funding, you have someone who is interested or who you think qualifies for that, I'll be willing to hear that, and then we have a discussion on how to move forward on that. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. Thank you. Right, we have two more questions.
Okay, let's do the last two, please.
Do you have yeah, those are the last two. Do you have the suggestion on the business one can invest in or startup in the UK?
If we're talking about the skilled worker for business, sorry?
No, it's fine. I'm sorry.
Okay. If we're talking about the skilled worker for business, then as Daniel said, we would do the assessment on the person's skills. If you recall on one of the slides, I talked about how you had to show you had at least a background or a knowledge of whatever business you chose to set up. So I think the answer to that question is there are a number of them around. We have been involved in creating a number of businesses over the years based on the individual's background. So that assessment would have to be done, as Daniel's already explained. But yeah, we would answer that question on a one-to-one. But providing this was a business-to-business type situation, we have quite a lot of opportunities depending on the individual's background.
Thank you, Ray. The last question is, how fast can I come to the UK if I apply on a skilled worker visa with investment?
In terms of from the point of us accepting your application and then going through the paperwork and then going through the Home Office, generally, and this is a general rule, probably between 3 to 4 months.
That's cool. So within 3 to 4 months, everything should be done.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Is that the end of the questions?
Yes, this is the last question.
Yeah, the last question is, apart from what you shared with us, is there no other mean that one can use to relocate to the UK?
Not in terms of business visas, no. Obviously, there are things like student visas and all sorts of other things. But in terms of the business side, no, there isn't.
Thank you, Ray. This was the last question.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, everyone who attended and stayed till the end. I see that a lot of people have actually already exited, but that's okay. Thank you for attending, and we hope that this was insightful. And let's take up the discussion further in the Telegram group. And you can also shoot an email to any of the email addresses on your screen, or just put the call across, and we will move forward with this. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Emma. Thank you, Noah. Thank you, Catherine.
My pleasure.
For being here.
Thank you, everybody. Nice to speak to you all. We hope to talk to you in the future. Thank you.
All right. Bye.